Publishing its findings in Nature Communications, the study concluded that preserved remains found at Abusir el Malik, Middle Egypt, were closest genetic relatives of the Neolithic and Bronze Age populations from the Near East and Eastern Mediterranean Europeans. DNA discovery reveals genetic history of ancient Egyptians. I'll tell you about that coming up at the start of the next hour. It's actually what the ancient Greeks said. It's what Plato said. Plato said that it was people from Central Europe, or he had from the coastline there, basically some of the same tribes that came down and created the Roman culture and some of those other cultures. They've done the DNA testing on a bunch of the most ancient mummies, and they were Central and Southern Europeans. But it's not some bashing the Africans. I just always hear that civilization, was stolen from Africans. You have to say the Chinese probably had the oldest civilization. They're not Africans. But you could argue that the humans originally originated in Africa, though now they've got some research that's not showing it. But it's not an attack on anybody. It's just what the DNA tests are showing, and what 2,400 years ago, the first global historian, Plato, said. Plato also said we should have a world government and kill all the poor people. He's kind of the model of the globalists today. Wasn't a very nice guy, but the father of what you'd call philosophy. And he was also a historian. He said there was a base in the Atlantic Ocean that had flying machines. And he said they created such an energy source so powerful that it blew up their entire island and made the earth dark for several years and made the temperature get cold. I actually have read Plato's writings on that. How would he come up with that? How would Plato come up with that? And he also said that it was people from the north of Greece that founded it. And some of the same tribes that founded Greece, he said, founded Egypt. Of course, we know early on the first trade was between Greece and Egypt. Of course, that was always known. The Romans taught that. But see, in the modern culture, people just said, no, that's not true. Africans founded Egypt. And it is true, by the middle period of Egypt, they had brought in folks from all over the Middle East and intermarried, and that it was true. They'd intermarried with kings of Ethiopia and other areas and had actually then no longer been European. That is true, but Egypt was started by Europeans. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, in 70 seconds. Please stay with us. I don't always go at CNN, or I don't go with Wikipedia. I actually go to where they say the research came from, and then you go research if that's true or not. Because CNN won't lie about a car wreck or a police shooting or a plane wreck or the weather. It'll just be on certain political things. People say, well, if CNN's fake news, why are you reporting it? Because CNN then proves themselves in this article and links to reports that have previously already been proven and is actually well-known science. DNA discovery reveals genetic history of ancient Egyptians. Mummy genome data have been extracted for the first time. That's because they've removed the head of antiquities who was there for 30-something years in Egypt, who wouldn't let anybody DNA test it. Remember that guy? Mummy genome data have been extracted for the first time. The mummy's closer ancient relatives were found in the Near East and Europe. Modern Egyptians have developed a greater amount of sub-Saharan DNA. Ancient Egyptians and their modern counterparts share less in common than you might think. That is, at least genetically, a team of scientists have found. Researchers at the University of, how do you pronounce that, Tübingen, and the Max Planck Institute for the Science of Human History in Jena, both in Germany, have decoded the genome of ancient Egyptians for the first time with unexpected results. Really, it's just everything Plato said, everything the Egyptians said, everything the Greeks said. And the thing is, everything Plato said is turning out true. Publishing its findings in Nature Communications, the study concluded that preserved remains found at Abusir el Malik, Middle Egypt, were closest genetic relatives of the Neolithic and Bronze Age populations from the Near East and Eastern Mediterranean Europeans. Modern Egyptians, by comparison, share much more DNA with sub-Saharan populations. So it was a mix of Asians and Europeans, just like you have with the Arabs and then the Babylonians up into what is ancient Iraq and then into ancient Iran. We're not getting into racist things here. This is just where the terms come from in anthropology, sociology, and archaeology. Iran means Aryan. And all that means is the Aryan people out of Europe that also founded India today. And yes, it was racist, folks. It was an upper caste of whites in India until just a few hundred years ago that ruled it. It's the same deal, same thing with Egypt. Modern Egyptians, by comparison, share much more DNA with sub-Saharan populations. The findings have turned years of theory on its head, causing Ethiopians and epidemiologists to reevaluate their region's history while unlocking new tools for scientists working in the field. Cleopatra was real, folks, and so was Mark Antony, and he was married to her, and he was a Roman, and the Roman historians said she had beautiful light brown skin. And many of the history said she had green eyes. She was obviously a mixed lady. It doesn't matter. The point is, modern history says Mark Antony married a black lady, which wasn't true, an African. It's how they try to destroy history, but the DNA then proves history was right. We'll be right back. The supporters of InfoWars, not just here in the U.S., but around the world, are the cutting-edge vanguard of the reawakening of the sleeping giant that is human liberty. Again, I want to thank you all humbly for fighting the globalist. I want to thank you for your financial support. You're the reasons we're still here and growing in the face of an unprecedented onslaught. That's why this July 4th, we're having some of the biggest sales ever. We have store-wide free shipping at InfoWarsStore.com through July 4th. And on top of that, we have savings as much as 40% off best-selling items. And we're talking about things you need. A wide spectrum of high-quality, non-GMO heirloom seeds, high-quality storable foods, and amazing, groundbreaking supplements and nutraceuticals. Our incredible nootropic Brain Force Plus, 30% off, and now with 20% more in each bottle. Super Male Vitality, sold out for months, concentrated herbs that have absolutely changed my life and so many others, 30% off as well. Deep Earth, Pure Iodine, X2, now back in stock, 30% off. Z-Shield, our newest product out of the gates, 30% off because it's so amazing and I want you to try it. Emmerich's Essentials Outdoor Special. We're talking our non-nano zinc, incredibly concentrated, high-powered sunscreen, along with Emmerich's Essentials Bug Spray that's totally organic and natural and works way better than chemical brands I personally used. On that particular special at 40% off, if you get the additional auto ship 10% off, we're talking about a loss leader. This July 4th, celebrating our republic, celebrating worldwide freedom, and celebrating returning America to its place in the world as a true shining city on a hill where people want to come here to celebrate free market and an open society, not to celebrate a globalist, politically correct cesspool of infighting and mind control.